story is Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. So we will start with an introduction of the story and what is the story.
Okay, so first I need to tell you, it's not like we are doing a big summary. If you don't understand it that well, but we're gonna go through it. So the story takes place first of all in Spain. So these are the two characters that are in the middle of nowhere, because there's a train station, and this train station is between Barcelona and Madrid. So it's like an assumption of it's not the place where they need to be. But they are waiting for the train, and it's a 40-minute scale. So it's very hot, and they tell us it's near the hills of the Valley of the Ebro, which is in Spain. So they get here, and they are too hot that they see this little bar. And the bar is just between two roads. So we now have the image of they in the middle and two roads in the side. After that, they start talking, and the first thing that comes is, let's take a beer. So they start drinking, and they just drink. They do not talk to each other. Until the girl starts looking at the heels, and she mentions, they look like white elephants, don't you think? So the other person is like, no, I don't think so. And then they start having a conversation that it hasn't much sense. So it's just about talking about the heels, and the man saying, no, they're not. So after that, they don't know what to talk about anymore. And it's like, oh, look, they have a new drink. So let's drink more. So they start drinking, and it's the same thing. They don't talk until, again, she's like getting again in that same thing, into the heels. But this time, she tells the man, well, they're not ugly. They are just white, you know? So it's kind of, you can assume they do not want to talk about it, but this time the man is like, well, you stop it. I don't want to talk about it, you know? So they keep on drinking. But there's time that he gives up. And it's like, okay, let's talk about it. But in a bad attitude, you know? So it's like, what do you want to talk about it? And it's like, well, I was just trying to talk to you. So that's why I bring up the heels. So he's kind of mad, and just like that, he says, it's just an operation week. So this is the next clue we have. They start talking about it, and it's like, do you want to do it? I don't know, do you want to do it? And they just talk about it, but we do not know nothing. And she starts to change her mind. At this point, she gets absent, because she has never tried it, and she's very seeing through that it's going to be a good drink. But at the time the drink comes, she tastes it, and she doesn't like it. So she makes here another important point, because she says, well, it's like the things you have been waiting for a long time, but it just tastes like everything else, you know? So then they keep on talking about this operation and how is it important or is not, if they do care, but we don't know what they're talking about really. So after that, at one point, they start discussing it really, and the man just says, I don't know, I just want you, I want the best for you, but it's just a simple operation, so why are you like this? They really don't have a good communication. Until what point she stands up, she stares at the other side of the road, because first she was looking at the heel, so now it's the other side of the road. And finally, they get to a point that they are not understanding each other. So the girl says to the man, just stop talking, okay? And the man is like, well, okay, but, and then it's, no, really, I don't want you to talk. So finally they said, well, we can have another drink to solve things, because it's the best solution here. And finally they just drink. The man says, well, I will get the bath. And finally she says, he asks her, are you really okay? And she says, I'm fine. So basically that's the whole story. Did you understand something? Or is there a point in here in the story? Because actually, we didn't find it. You know, we read the story and it was like, well, it doesn't have a point. We didn't understand it. But after it, and after analyzing, it was a very surprising story because of all like the surprises it has. Okay, so first of all, I want to like make a introduction about the writer. So he used to write in a form, and he had this theory about the iceberg theory, that it's about how stories are deeper and more interesting when they don't tell you anything, but they tell you everything into lines, you know? So this is how we understand that actually the story didn't tell us anything, but it had a lot of meaning. So we are gonna go through it and you're gonna see which are all of these.
Okay. First of all, we need to tell that the operation the man was telling to the girl to have is an abortion. She was pregnant, and the man wanted her to do an abortion but because he doesn't want to have a child. So we put here, how do you say?
Cavernicola.
A caveman.
And caveman, because Hemingway used to describe men as like a simple being, like a person that doesn't have like such complicated thoughts or such complicated like background behind him. So we can see in the American man, in the story, as a simple man that he only knows that he doesn't want to have a child. He supports the girl, like he supports the girl in certain way, but he really doesn't want to have a child. He just wants to have his life back, like his happiness back. He doesn't want to be like he doesn't want to be concerned about the idea of having a child and lose all his peace or all his freedom. So we will start talking about the American, okay? We put persuasive as an adjective for the American because in all the story we can see how he tries to convince the woman to do the abortion. And we put some of the examples like, I wouldn't have you do it if you didn't want to, but I know it's perfectly simple. We can see how he always says that, okay, I will support you in every time, but the right way to do it is like to do the abortion, but I will support you if you don't want to. It's like he is giving these different thoughts and these different ideas, so at the end the girls get really confused.
Like in the passive aggressive.
Mm-hmm. And we have the other one, you don't have to be afraid. I know lots of people that have done it, so he's still trying to convince her. The other adjective we use is restless, because he was very persuasive, and he was always from the beginning to the end of the story. He keeps trying to do these comments, and we have also these examples. But I don't want you to do it if you don't really want to. You have got to realize that I don't want you to do it if you don't, and it's almost the same thing in all these lines. So we can see the American as a really he's really afraid because he doesn't want to have this child, but he also supports in a certain way the woman. So it's a little bit like we can see it like an afraid person. Okay, and we have Jig, who is the woman. We have these two adjectives, and I want to start with persuadable because in part of the story, at the beginning of the story, she doesn't want to do the abortion. That's why when they start drinking, they get mad at each other and they start fighting. But at some point, when the man starts like telling that I will support you, but you should do this and then you should make all these other things, she starts thinking that maybe it's the right thing to do to perform the abortion, and that's why she said, then I'll do it because I don't care about me. I'll do it and then everything will be fine. And if I do, you'll be happy and the things will be like they were and you will love me. So we can see that the woman struggles with the idea of she have to do or not to do the abortion. The other adjective we use is dreamy because from the beginning to the end of the story, the girl looks at the landscape of the mountains and she's like thinking and like she was trying to get the decision to perform or not to perform the abortion. And we can see it in these examples. The girl was looking up of the lines of the heels, and there's what she said they look like white elephants. The girl looked across the heels, and they are lovely heels. The girl stood up and walked to the end of the station, and we can have all of this. And this part is really important in the story because she gets mad with the man, and she walks away to the station, to one of the end of the station. And she started to see the landscape. She saw the flowers, the hills, and she said to the man, like, we can have all of this if I perform the abortion. We can have all of this. We can have everything we want. And the man said, but we can have it. We can have it also if you don't perform the abortion. And they fight with this idea of losing everything because the man and the woman in that point thinks that if they have the baby will take all their their peace and all their freedom, and they will not have anything. So in all the story we can see how they fight with this idea, but it's not implicit in the story. You have to read it and you have to analyze all the parts to really see that it's an abortion, the operation they are talking about.
Okay, so finally, to really understand why is this the real point of the story, I want to make here, why the white elephant? You know, what does it mean, or why is it so important that it's in the title? Well, it can be two things. It can be a symbolism, and it's also related to something else. As symbolism, it's supposed to symbolize the protruding belly or the breast of a pregnant woman. So in this case, we can see it like this, or a side, or like that. There are some cultures or some phrases that when you refer to white elephants, it refers to something that you don't want. Like when they tell you as a white elephant, it's like something that really hurts, but they do not want to touch the subject. So in here, they actually, it's something that hurts them, but they do not have communication between each other, so they do not know how to talk about it. So this is why the white elephant is so important. And in here is the exact quote, and it says, "They look like white elephants," she said. "I've never seen one," the man drank his beer. "No, you wouldn't have." "I might have," the man said. "Just because you said I wouldn't have doesn't prove anything." So in here, it's a very precise example when you can relate and connect the white elephant with the baby, because she's telling him he had never had one, you know? So how could you know about the baby and if you're gonna have a happy life or not if you have never had one?
Okay, and in this part, the woman and the man are having a new kind of alcohol, a new drink, and the girl doesn't like it, so she said that it tastes like liquor, like another kind of any other kind of alcohol. So she said that the man said that yes, as any other things, and the woman says like, yes, say the girl, everything tastes like licorice, especially all the things you have waited so long for, like absinthe. And we analyze this part of the story, like the man had already told her that having a baby is not such an important thing, that is like anything else, is not an important matter in her life. So he's saying that, okay, like he's taking this situation that had happened before, and she said that, okay, it's like that, like the thing that you have said, that everything tastes like liquor, especially all the things you have waited so long. That we can see in this part that she really wants the baby, that she doesn't want to do the abortion, and she's telling that, okay, like you have said that being pregnant is not a really important thing, that have a baby is not an important thing. So we can see here how she used the irony of the situation to tell us that she really wants the baby, that she doesn't want to do the abortion.
Yeah, but that he's also like having a struggle inside her, because she had waited for that moment of her life, but at the moment she tells him she doesn't want it and that it's something else. In here I have another symbol or maybe symbol about the theme of the story.